Hey everyone, it's Nick from Nick's Crossing, and today I'm filming at the Susquehanna State Park on the Maryland side. And actually to my left, if you would go straight down this way, it would turn into the city of Havre de Grace, Maryland. To my right, it turns into the Conowingo Dam that goes across the Susquehanna River. When you get closer down that direction, you can actually hear the road, you can actually see the I-95 bridge go across the Susquehanna. Then there's a lovely toll at the end. So we will not be traveling that bridge today. But today we're going to walk the trail that turns into the Greenway path, which used to be a railroad. And the tracks are still here for 90% of the trail. And the railroad has been abandoned for 92 years. So these tracks have been untouched, and we're going to walk them, and I'll show you guys, give you a little bit of history of why they're here. I am wearing boots today. I didn't want to take any chances because it is all frozen and really cold out here. So here are some of the tracks, and we're gonna head down this way, in this direction, and show you guys some other cool things off the trail. Show you this awesome structure that's located in the park. Here's a better view of the mill wheel, and it just goes down and down and down. I'll show you guys. Big old pit. Looks like this wheel's like, I don't know, 30 feet across or so, 25 feet. It's insane. The water is actually coming from over here, across the road and up the hill. So there's actually a couple locks up there, I guess that's what you'd call them, that hold the water up in these artificial ponds that are up there. You can see that berm. You can actually see the water being held off. And here's the plaque for it. The Rock Run Grist Mill. Alright guys, so here are the rails. They're a little covered up, but it'd be much worse in the summertime. That's why I came out here in the freezing cold of January. And here's actually a, looks like we're standing on a retaining wall here. So, don't want to go down there. Looks like there's some type of walkway. Alright guys, so here are the tracks we just walked up on. And I wanted to see this retaining wall up close. We're gonna go down this path here. This looks very old. You can see the difference in construction here. Even this, the geology in the stone looks very different, like age-wise, like weathering-wise. And also this rock here doesn't have any type of mortar or concrete between it. Compared to the stone, making this access way to the water is all, it's all mortared in or cemented in with very old cement. So we're just gonna go down a couple of these steps. And I want to see this retaining wall we're walking beside that's holding up our tracks. And this is as far as I'd like to go. So, holy crap, look at that. So you can see this is stack stone. This is very traditional, like railroad style. And it goes all the way up to the face of the river. So this is holding back the earth. It's been holding it back for almost 100 years. So we're going to continue. There's more of it on my right side here. We're going to continue up the rails or across the rails because we're going east-west. And as you guys can imagine, in the summertime, this would all be green. You wouldn't even be able to see a lot of the detail. Alright. It's a gorgeous day, even though it's cold. I love it. I'd rather be cold than sweating and overheating all the equipment here. So, and also in the summertime, this is a very popular fishing spot. This trail is actually starting to thaw. It was ice a moment ago, but the sun's come out. Alright. Yeah, explore your Chesapeake. Look at this. So, interesting fact here. This is considered, this side of the Susquehanna is considered part of the Chesapeake watershed. And the interesting thing is, the Susquehanna River, before the dam, is considered freshwater. Once you get past the dam and you fish Down this way, it's considered brackish or tidal. So a tidal watershed, meaning it has a tide. Compared to any of these creeks that feed in, like we're about to go over a little bridge here, that's considered freshwater. You actually can see they cut the rail right here. So that's a nice fishing spot. You can actually see it has some depth in there. See, the water's flowing that way, and it's because the tide is actually coming up, but water from the hill is flowing down. So just interesting anomalies with a tidal watershed meeting a non-tidal watershed. All right, now we're back on ties. Unmaintained trail. So I guess that means they allow it to be a natural occurring, they don't trim anything back. They allow the people to do it, or the natural occurrences in weather. Looks like it was either blasted on one side or chopped using some type of hammer. So you can actually see the profile of the valley here. To my left is a swamp area or wetlands, and you would see it could go right down to the track to the shoreline, which is the shoreline's about 20 feet down that way. So we're still on the built retaining wall. There are lots of moments on this trail that do this, and it's so cool. We're actually going to go down here. All right. And I believe I have a picture of this from the summertime from a few years ago. So you guys, check that out. We are underneath the railroad here. So guys, I found a manufacturer on the track. So it's the looks like an L-I-N-S company. Southwest, I'm assuming, Scranton. So Scranton, Pennsylvania. And I don't know this mark here. That might be, might say iron, but it says 96. So I'm assuming 1896, possibly. We also have some other numbers up here. Nah, 2.96. So the other ones are worn off. So I'm still looking for a year plate here. And here's another washout point right here. Not as severe as the one before, but still pretty bad, catastrophic. And you can even see that these ties were probably just tree trunks or entire tree trunks just thrown down. They weren't squared up or anything, or milled to a square shape. And there's a swamp to my left. These are usually completely covered with algae in the summertime, and it's pretty gross, but it is what it is. It's a swamp. And yeah, like I said before, all this foliage would be alive, so I'm glad I can walk through it successfully. And seeing this tree growing in the middle here possibly means this tree it appears to be dead, was a 90-some-year-old tree. That's impressive. Or anything growing in the rails, like this guy here. You can assume they're pretty old. Here's a widowmaker tree right in front of me. I'm going to be very careful about this. Make sure that thing doesn't fall on me. Last time I was here, it was very windy. We actually had a wind advisory. And we heard trees all around us breaking and going out, all kinds of stuff. So always be careful when you guys are hiking around, especially a unmaintained trail. Great to know, right? All right, here's a whoa, look at this. This is so cool. So yeah, you guys can see my rails are way washed out, but below it we have an ice fall. It's like a mini glacier. So you can see there's more of the retaining wall, like those squared pieces there, washed out. So we're going to carefully make it under here. Yeah, all nice and slushy. All right, we're getting closer to the main bridge on the tracks. It's a decent sized girder bridge that spans across. They keep on calling it a trestle, but I believe it used to be a trestle, but it looks like a metal girder bridge to me, so it is what it is. So let's just keep on going down here, down the line. You can actually smell the sea air here coming off the water. It's got that salt smell to it. There's another washout point here. Can't imagine what the aftermath of Agnes was. Still would have been awful to see the aftermath of that. I hear water. What do we have here? Oh, we have a culvert right there. Little piece of corrugated pipe spewing out some water there. All right, we're gonna keep on walking down the line. See what else we see. I don't think we'll find a lot of rail artifacts. It's because this has been abandoned for so long. I guess they were thinking that they didn't want them going over this edge right here into the river. So here's the other section, and it starts on the left side, hugging that side. All right, so we're gonna walk down this path here. It looks like they've done some work to it. So originally to get up to the tracks from this parking area, you had to kind of go up this path there. This wasn't here before, or it wasn't as nice, but to my right, you have a nice view of the retaining wall. Still intact, it's gorgeous. You can see they used blocks of some type of hard, really hard rock. I don't know if it's like a granite material, but it looks really awesome. And it goes all the way down. You can see down this gully here. Originally, I thought this was a canal because it looked like some type of canal could go in here, but I'm not exactly sure on that. It does look very similar. And it lines up to, I believe this is Deer Creek. And we have a map right here of where we are. Beautiful scene here, and there's the old railroad bridge there. And the crazy thing is, get a little bit closer. If you guys look up, that is terrifying. That is foliage from the, I guess, flooding. See all this stuff piled up here, all this foliage and trees and stuff floating downriver. That is from a flood of some type, and the water rose up that high, and this stuff was stuck underneath, which means the bridge was acting like a sift or some type of filter, so holding it all back, almost like a dam. So that's really cool. I fished off this bridge. You have to watch like all the rocks in here, but this is a gorgeous location. You can see straight down in the water. The water's crystal clear until you get to the brackish side. It gets a little bit darker. I've also fished from that bank over there in that pool. You can get some catfish in here. There are some trout that they stock it with, and they come down Deer Creek. So we're going to continue on the trail a little bit further. I'm gonna see how far we can go before it's impossible to get by All right, we're on the bridge. They probably installed this fence here so people can't jump off the bridge into the water. But it is very painful to fish off of. You have to lean over. So, and there's the pool we fished before. You can see right down. It's about 4 or 5 feet deep, right in there. And where the water meets, this mixing right here, you can actually see it swirling at the bottom there. I've seen guys taking these little john boats from all the way down river. You can actually see a little bit of the I-95 bridge. It's really far out. It'd be in that side of the frame. These guys with these little jet boats and john boats will come up through here. I don't know how they do it without hitting something. All right, so we crossed the bridge and the tracks are abruptly cut. We're gonna try to get around that. I'd love to see more of the track. The trail is here. It meanders through and up and down the banks. It's the blue trail you can see on those trees down there, and also the blue marker right here as well on the rail. So this is interesting too. Here is a part of the original bridge. This steel X right here. It's reinforcement for the I-beams going across. Maybe at one time it was a trestle bridge. They just put this bridge in. It is a little bit higher in grade, but we'll never know. So I'm gonna see how far we can get down here. Like I said, if it gets too bad, I'll turn around and head back. So far, so good. I'm taking the road less traveled by, right? There we go, there's a way around. Deer Creek is on my left, so the rails are beside me. It looks like I'm not the only person who's done this. There's a definite path in here. And another washout point in the tracks. Still trying to find numbers on these rails. Can't find anything. I saw it said RN, N on there, some other writing over there, but it still says, let's see, this one's different. This one says Maryland. Yeah, there's no way I could have done this in the summertime. My rails are here, but they're completely engulfed in grass and soil. Look at this. All right, guys, so I had a very strange equipment anomaly. All of my stuff died. Even my gimbal, which was fully charged, I only used it for about an hour with you guys, so that's a little weird. And my cell phone died instantaneously, so I have my backup battery, thankfully. The rails are in here somewhere. You can see kind of the pattern on the ground. You can see how overgrown it is. But I'm going to turn around shortly and head back. On the track here, I remember before we were in here looking for numbers, I saw it said Maryland. On this outer rail here, it says 251, then Maryland, then 07, somewhere in this location here. So that tells me that this rail is 251 pounds per yard, manufactured in Maryland, most likely the year 1907. Definitely not 2007. So our rail is very, very old. I was picking up that this rail was probably just maybe stored somewhere, and they had to get this railroad done as soon as possible. So they probably just had scraps from either the B&O or local railroads. So we're going to continue up towards the bridge, and at the bridge I'll discuss what this railroad was used for. Alright guys, so here's another section of track. It has the full detailing of it. It's L.I.S. Company, I'm assuming that's Southwest, Scranton, 296. I'm not sure if that means 1896 or that's just the scaling that they would use back in the day. So it's cool to find both those different types of tracks. And the Maryland track actually starts. You can see where it kind of changes right after this fish plate here and goes up to being the Maryland track there. Alright guys, so we're on the bridge, and it's actually a gorgeous sunny day. It's a lot warmer than I thought. I'm glad I didn't layer up as much as I thought I would have had to, but I wanted to go over some history for you. So this railroad was constructed in the year of 1926. Actually a little bit before then probably, just so they can get some of the excavation and blasting out of the way, because I'm sure they had to blast through a ton of stuff to put this railroad in and also build the retaining walls. The railroad was probably the first thing to go in prior to the dam. So the dam was constructed from the years of 1926 to 1928, and the tracks were left abandoned in 1929. So that gives us about a 90-plus period of abandoned rails, which is why you guys see tons of foliage and trees all over the place. So it's awesome to see that. So originally the railroad and the dam were constructed by the Philadelphia Power Company. The dam is now owned by the Exelon Company. It generates power for 150,000 plus customers of Exelon. And actually further up that way, we have the Peach Bottom nuclear power plant right over the Pennsylvania-Maryland line. So this railroad was primarily used for hauling heavy equipment and materials to the dam for construction. The dam is made of concrete, so I'm sure they had to haul a bunch of stuff from the quarry that is behind me. So we're now going to make our way to the Conowingo Dam. I'll show you guys what's going on there. Hopefully they're running some water through it so you guys can see that, and it'll be really cool. All right guys, so all the way down here, you can see it. That is the Conowingo Dam. So we're going to make our way there. The river is flowing east, and there's the 95 bridge right there. You actually see some trucks going across it now. And the full stretch of railroad, like I said, is approximately 9 miles. So we're going to make our way to the dam. It's actually getting very cold, and the riverbank here is freezing, and we actually have some ice forming on the bank. Alright guys, so we are in front of the dam. The dam is to my left, and we'll see that in a few seconds. So here is the end of the rails. Right here you can see it sticking out, and then down here this beam would have been part of the giant trestle system with the retaining wall vanishing around here. The trestle system would have gone all the way up to the dam. Fortunately it's no longer here, but I will post some pictures in the end of the video to show you what I found of that. Guys, I found the rail right in these rocks here. I thought the rail ended at the end of the Greenway path, and the Greenway path starts at one of the sides of the Deer Creek Bridge on the roadway, not the walking path. So it's kind of complicated to get there. It's easier to park in this very large facility, but in the summertime they have issues with vultures here, like turkey vultures destroying cars. All right guys, we made it to the Conowingo Dam, and I have seen water all over those rocks there. Like, this has all been opened up before after we had that very large snowstorm, I believe 2011 or so. All their floodgates were opened up, and this whole thing was filled. You can actually see the water line where those power lines are. I mean, that's a resting water line there. I mean, that's insane. So in the summertime, this is usually covered with fishing from the shoreline. Like, there's a group down there fishing but all of this usually has people fishing in it off of everywhere. There's some people to my right fishing. The electric in there, it kind of sizzles. You can hear a AC hum. It's pretty cool. And it looks like they have a few of the gates open over there. And I did hear an alarm go off. I don't know if someone was on the other side of this getting pretty close. You don't want to get anywhere near this floodgate system here. Up on the hill over there, this berm here is actually a live Norfolk Southern Railroad. It used to be part of the Pennsylvania. It actually has overhead catenary lines that used to be there. They left the poles up. That's pretty cool to see. And then on top of the dam, running all the way north-south, is Route 1. And if you keep on going straight, you will eventually get to Pennsylvania, and Peach Bottom is, I believe, in that direction there. All right, guys, so this is as far as I'd like to go. Some people moved out from down here, so get a nice shot of the water coming down. This device there lifts the gates up to let water out. You can see there's water coming from those gates there, and also a little bit from over there, but not too much, mostly over there. So this was completed in 1928. I mean, this is a gorgeous facility. Looks very Gothic. Love the archways on here and just seeing all the architecture. The railroad would have come up for where that walking path is to where I'm standing, would have been to the dam right here to try to assemble this monster. All right, everyone, so that's a wrap for today's adventure. I hope you guys enjoyed the abandoned tracks that have been here for almost, well, I'll say almost 100 years, a little over 90. So hope you guys enjoyed that, and also some of the pictures I posted and maybe some of the history. If you guys can, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. And I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about the tracks or some of the history. So just leave me a comment. So I hope to see you guys in future videos, and thank you so much. All right, guys, so I was making my way back to the vehicle. And the parking area is down a hill there. I noticed that there were some rails up here, and looks like they go that way. There's also a stockpile right up in here, so I can walk over and get to it. A lot of sticker bushes in here. All right, so yeah, look at this. There's a stockpile of rail and some type of conduit. It's a steel or iron conduit right there. And there's another track right there. So if you look at it, this would have been my width of the railroad. So I'm thinking maybe at the end of this, where it drops off, might have been some type of unloading area for hoppers, maybe to get the concrete mix here. And it would have switched into a double track right there. You have one track there, one track over here. So I'm glad I was able to see this. In the summertime, I would not be able to see any of this. This would have been all covered up with green. We would call it like an urban forest, all types of like thickets and thorn bushes and stuff. So it's just a last find before we head out.